Makhane out of the bakkie.
But that's exactly my point, that there's now a general on the scene, but we also know there are other people as well from the SAPS on the scene. What is your business in continuing these conversations? Now you have the SAPS proper people, including a general. What is your business to carry on activity, including trying to get Makhane out of the bakkie? What business is this? It's a SAPS operation. It's not a traffic department operation. It's a SAPS operation. You want to continue to be active to a point of wanting to take Makhane, who you think is under arrest. You want to take him out of that arrest, which has been ordered by a general. It's that problem that you seem, it's clear that, to me at least, that you had a far greater invested interest in this than just a traffic officer who happened to get a tip-off. Now we know from a friend who called his friend to assist him find a Makhane who, with respect to him, is completely helpless about this. He's never done this. He's a desk person. You go with him, you are on the scene. SAPS people arrive. You don't say, I started this, it was my tip-off, but now the SAPS. Of course, we are all law enforcement. Let them do what they need to do. You are so actively, you're even fighting, why is Makhane arrested? And I'm suggesting to you that all of that conduct indicates that you had a vested interest other than a law enforcement officer who has found out about drugs and is happy that they are now under the control of the state. That's the impression I have about you, that you had a far greater interest. If you have any comment, you can comment, but that's my view about your conduct here, that it went beyond just everyday traffic officer or law enforcement activity.
Like I'm saying, sometimes you take long, and I really want to comment.
Yes, you can. It means you heard me. You can comment.
Number one, like I said, regardless of your rank, we respect one another.
Can I please stop you? And I don't mean to be disrespectful. Please do not repeat what you have said. It's on record, and I remember it clearly, and we will read it. So do not repeat it, but please comment freely. I've heard you. You said when the police arrive, regardless of rank, you ask who is in charge, who is who, people introduce themselves. We've heard all of that. Please do not repeat it. You can comment if you have anything else to say.
No comment.
The indication was that you and Warrant Officer Makhane introduced yourselves as crime intelligence. Do you see that? And you dispute that you did that.
I can't do that.
Why would she say that? And remember, this is a contemporaneous statement. It's made that day at 1:20 in the morning, in the afternoon. Why would she say that if it's not, in fact, what you had said to her?
I don't know why she said that.
That is what was communicated to her, and you were aggressive. You arrested them. You had no basis to arrest them, correct?
I had no
basis to arrest them for possession.
Remember, I place you under arrest until we confirm the cargo. Hence, K9 was on its way.
Okay, so then you shouldn't have taken issue with General Khan placing you under arrest. Because you were also then in possession of the drugs when he arrived on the scene.
I was in possession.
Yes. You had given instructions for the drugs to be taken and put onto the bakkie.
It's securing exhibit.
Yes, but how does he know that you don't have the paperwork when you arrive on the scene? You're not authorized to even conduct this operation. So you are, at that point, there is suspicion.
Suspicion from who? From General Khan?
Yes, because you are in possession. On the same basis as which you arrested Jolene Wenzel for merely being a manager at Scania and saying that she's being arrested for possession, and the truck driver, that's the same basis. Because you say, until I can verify, I'm going to arrest them.
We are at the premises, Scania premises. These things are offloaded or delivered to them by the driver. So how do I become? I went there as a law enforcement official. Whatever action, that does not mean I'm in possession. Because I asked, who is receiving these bags?
Well, you were there under false pretenses because you created the impression that you were from crime intelligence. They have no reason to lie that you introduced yourself as being from crime intelligence.
Well, I don't know why they said that, because I did not say that.
Can I raise a different concern in this discussion? That you are at Yellow Jersey. You have information. At this point, you know, because that's what Nku has told you, that there are drugs in that truck. So you know there's narcotics, stuff that shouldn't be there, that breaks the law. How do you take instructions from the Yellow Jersey people not to conduct an operation? Here you are in a lawful operation. Let's assume this is a lawful operation. How do you get told by the people that, according to you, at that point are in possession? Because Yellow Jersey is in possession at that time, because this is on their property. They transported it. Their driver that you later say is in possession, you arrest him for possession. He's in possession. You are at Yellow Jersey. How are you dictated upon not to take action at that point?
It's not dictated upon, it's being advised.
How do
Because
you...
Yellow Jersey manager also didn't know what's inside.
No, how do you know? You don't know that. You know there's drugs in there. You know this is a Yellow Jersey truck. You are on Yellow Jersey property. There's a Yellow Jersey driver. Why are you, if this is a lawful operation, why are you not breaking the seal at that point, opening the container, taking the drugs, and placing the Yellow Jersey people under arrest?
Like I'm saying, this might sound easy to you, commissioners, because you have ample time to sit and research and Google or whatever. Me in an operation, I don't have that time. Things happen so fast.
No, there's nothing fast here. There's nothing fast. You knew there's a truck. You were called from home and told there's a truck, it's packed. So you had time. You left your house knowing there's a truck that is packed that we are going to open because it has drugs in it. You know that before you arrive on the scene. You had ample opportunity to mobilize resources. But that's not even the discussion I'm having with you, because I think the discussion about why you didn't mobilize resources has been had and it's been exhausted. So that's not what I'm raising with you. There's no agency. You are within secured space. This is somebody's yard that you are in. My question is, you know there are drugs in there, so the law is being broken. You think the driver is in possession, so he's breaking the law. This is a yellow jersey truck. I'm saying please explain in a way that makes sense why you are not operationalizing at that point. You have time. You do. So the answer cannot be, and if you're going to say there was no time, please let me be honest with you, I don't accept it, and I think that's not an honest answer. Why do you get advised by yellow jersey, no, don't do it here, let it first get to another location, and you accept that? I'm yet to meet a police officer that gives me that kind of generosity.
Well, if somebody says, especially please or asking, that I'm advising that please do not open it here, because if you don't get what you want, the relationship, my relationship with my client will turn sour. I'm advising that please, I'm not saying do not open, but I'm advising, please escort it to the client. Then you open so the client can see
Okay.
what's.
Maybe let me say this as the last thing. There is no if you don't get what you want, because you know it is in there. I think that's the premise of my question. But you know there's narcotics in there, because Nku has told you that. You know that for sure, and we can't go back on that. We know for sure there are drugs, and that's the basis of my question, that you allow, on your version, yellow jersey to say to you, no, go open it somewhere else. Let's get to Scania. You don't know at that time who they belong to. At least you have not said you knew they belonged to Scania. You don't know. You've stopped a truck. It's there, and at least you know where it is. And you choose to take the advice of the person who's in possession of the truck at that time, who owns the truck, whose driver it is. You choose to take their advice to say, go open it somewhere else. That it absolutely doesn't make sense. And it I think, unavoidably suggests there was another reason why you went all the way to Scania. And I want to suggest maybe it's because you saw that it's actually not safe to open it here, because these people don't trust us and we may get into trouble. They may call the police. They may do other things. As you say, they looked like they don't trust you. And I think it's because you saw that and you thought they will call the police on you. That's why you moved on, and you were hoping that where you are going, you will quickly load these things on the van as you did and leave before there was any interruption. That's what I say it looks like. Thank you. Else? You can comment if you want to. I suspect you're going to say you have no comment. You may comment if you want to, Chief.
No, I also thought you are dictating to me, so I wouldn't comment.
I could never dictate to you, Chief. I put to you what I say it looks like to me. I may be wrong entirely. I'm putting to you that these facts, because it doesn't make sense that you did not operationalize this at New Jersey. You tell us you acted on advice of people who are suspects themselves. You acted on their advice, doesn't make sense. And then I say, this is what it looks like. It looks like you aborted yellow jersey because you saw these people don't trust you, you thought they'll call the police on you, and you were hoping at the second location you will be able to take the drugs and do a quick getaway, which I suggest you were doing with the black van. You didn't anticipate it will go down as badly as it did. That's why things happened the way that they did. So you can comment. You can say I'm wrong if in what I'm saying, and then we can move on.
I wouldn't even attempt saying you are wrong. I've learned to accept that I don't think I'll ever make sense to you, Commissioner, because...
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, I've heard you. Thank you. Ms. Eagles?
Thank you, Commissioners. Can I just confer with... do you know, sorry, Chief, do you know when General Mfazi died?
I was told by Nku recently that he died, I think on the 8th of July.
2021,
Yes.
the day when you get involved in this, by
I think-
Nku.
Yes.
Okay, now, we know that Mr. Nku, it was his intention now to, well, from the messages that we showed you on page 326 of that bundle where he speaks about now we have to go back to offloading from the trucks again. Do you recall that? Do you recall that message that I had showed you?
Yes.
And he tells you again about a truck from Durban to Johannesburg. He involves you in that. You say he was giving you a tip off so that you could execute a legitimate operation. And really, we don't have anyone to confirm that he had previously engaged with General Mfazi, because General Mfazi is no more, about the same information that he gives you on the 8th of July, 2021. Correct. You with me so far?
I'm with you.
Okay. You don't tell your boss that you're going to this operation on the 9th of July. In fact, when they engage with, if we can, I'll just read it for you. That is Pompey at page 147 of the state of the bundle. It's a statement by the director in traffic management, who you indicated was your immediate superior at the time. 147. Do you see that? Just let me know when you're there. It's
Yes.
the statement by Director Pompey.
Yes, I see that.
On the 9th of July 2021 at 10:34, I phoned Mashaba as the acting deputy director in the Southern Corridor to join my visit to all the K78 roadblock in our area to give support to our officers. He indicated to me that he has an urgent matter that he is attending to, but he did not mention the matter. I respected what he told me due to the nature of his meetings and operations. In his area, he would normally work morning shift or afternoon shift. In all his work engagements, he keeps communicating with me as his supervisor with regards to his duties. Now, can I just pause here? You did indicate earlier that you had a good working relationship with Pompey, with Director Pompey. And we know that by 10:34, you had already discovered the drugs. Correct?
Right.
By 10:34 on the 9th of July 2021.
Yes.
Okay. Was this not an opportunity to say, yo, you're calling me and I've just made this massive drug bust at that stage? I mean, this is not even you calling Director Pompey. Director Pompey is calling you to ask you to join on the roadblock. There's no danger now about interception or anything. Why don't you mention it then?
He called me He called me in the morning.
Yes,
Because I had to
10:34.
join him for visits. So you're saying, what's the question?
Why didn't you at 10:34, when you received the call from the director to join? Do you dispute that when the call was made, it was to join you to visit them at the K78 roadblock? When Director Pompey called you, what did he say to you? Why was he calling you?
Please join me, let's go visit K78
Yes.
roadblocks.
Exactly. So at that stage, why don't you say, I can't, I am busy with a drug bust. I've just uncovered a massive amount of drugs here at Ayrton, so I can't come now.
No, I was still gonna tell him as to what time. I didn't see any urgency.
That is implausible. You as a traffic officer have just made a significant drug bust, 700 kgs. You don't see that when your boss calls you to ask you to join on a roadblock, that you say, listen, I've done something bigger here. You don't see, you want us to accept that you wouldn't have said that if it was a legitimate operation.
If I recall, he called me. Are you saying he called me at 10:34?
I'm not saying it. That's what he says. On the 9th of July 2021, at 10:34, I phoned Mashaba as the acting deputy director in the Southern Corridor to join my visit to all the K78 roadblock in our area to give support to our officers.
No, I think this time I couldn't. I mean, the scene was a chaos this time already. So I knew I was going to get time to call him. Because here we were still, I can say we were still having some misunderstandings with other police as colleagues.
Chief, I'm going to suggest that you didn't tell Director Pompey about your discovery because you weren't on a legitimate operation. It was your side hustle with Mr. Nku. That's why you didn't say anything. You only involve people when you are now in a bind because you've been arrested, because you're being bullied by General Khan. That is when you engage with your superiors. But when you are called to attend to official business, you don't say, I can't attend to official business now because I've just made one of the biggest drug busts in the country.
Well, you are telling me I don't have control over that. I'll just accept what you're telling me.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you did have control over telling your superior what you were doing. You can't hide behind what you've just said. Nothing stopped you from telling him.
No, she's saying she's telling me
Yes.
that she's putting to me that it's because it was illegitimate. So I'm saying I agree with you because that's your opinion. I cannot say anything.
What do you mean agree? Do
Because
you mean you accept the correctness of what Advocate Sigel is saying when you say you agree? What exactly do you mean I agree?
Chair, she is telling me that it was illegitimate. So if somebody says, like now the picture that is being painted was that we were stealing. I don't have control over what you think as a person. If you're saying I was stealing, it's your word against mine, it's fine.